Hey guys, so I'm getting ready to do a different kind of PC build, and in this video I'm taking a old HP Z400 workstation that I got off of eBay for around 60 bucks. It's got 12 gigs of RAM, a Xeon 3530 I believe. It's like 2.7 gigahertz, 4-core 8-thread. And we're going to turn this into a FreeNAS storage server. So we have two PCIe slots in there. One's going to be used for our graphics card just to get some video output. The other one will be used for a SAS card, which will add another 8 SATA ports to our build. We already have a 500 watt power supply. And yeah, we're pretty much just going to take all the hardware from this case and put it in a new case with some more drive storage. So with this one, we have 3 5.25 inch drive bays accessible from the front, and then 2 internal drive bays. I just purchased a new case, and I'll go over that a little bit. First, we're just gonna do some things to this hardware, clean it up a little bit, add some new thermal paste. So I'll show you guys that, and then we'll switch over the hardware to the new case. But first, I'll preview that case and let you guys see it. So first thing first, when getting a old PC, I like to take off the heatsink on top of the CPU and replace the thermal paste. This is an 8-year-old computer, so that thermal paste is probably really dried up. So we're just going to take that off and install some new thermal paste. As you can see, some very dry thermal paste and not a lot of it. So we're just going to take this off and replace our thermal paste with some Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut. So there we go. We got our old thermal paste off of our CPU and off of our cooler. Now we're just going to apply some Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut to the CPU and put the cooler back on. And there we go. Cooler is back installed, and we got some new thermal paste on there. So here's our new case. It's a Super Case Vector 3610. So the new one's a 3620, so this is one model previous to that. It has 3 5.25 inch drive bays accessible from the exterior, 1 accessible from the interior, and then 7 3.5 inch drive bays for SSD or for HDDs, 2 accessible from the front, and 5 accessible from the inside. It's ATX. We're gonna hope that our HP ATX board fits in here. I'll get all of that moved into here and show you guys what it looks like. Here's our front panel. So we have some mesh. So we're actually pulling air in from the outside of the case through a fan, through this mesh, and into the case to cool down the HDDs. It also comes with another 120 at the rear. So I'm gonna get, like I said, all the hardware put in here, show you guys how it looks, and then we'll start setting up some FreeNAS stuff and sort of explain what the plan is for the build. So here's one thing you have to be made aware of. So the actual backplate for the motherboard that comes out of the H400 has to be installed into your new case. as a lot of these mounting holes don't match up, and it's actually using these holes on the actual mounting plate to install the cooler to. So you're gonna have to take your cooler off of your CPU and be able to then reinstall that backplate into here. So it'll match up a decent amount with your ATX standoffs. So I have a standoff here, and the one up here will all match. So we're gonna screw through these holes into the standoffs to actually hold this in place, and then be able to use the CPU cooler screw holes to actually reinstall that CPU cooler. So now that we have the, that old mounting plate in there, everything fits in here really securely, so it's not moving around at all. So we'll just throw the CPU cooler in. I'll install the power supply and the rest of the hardware and hook up the front USB and all that kind of stuff, and I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. So here we have the finished system. So we have 450 watt Corsair power supply. The one caveat with the Z400 workstation is that the 24-pin ATX connector is proprietary to HP and has a couple extra 12-volt pins and just a different layout. So I had to order a cable extender off of a site called Mod DIY that alters the pinout from a standard ATX power supply to the HP version. We then also have installed our GTX 1050 graphics card just to get a video out for the system, as well as a SAS card. So it's an HP SAS card that I found on eBay. It's around $20–25, and that'll enable us to add an extra 8 hard drives to the system. So we're using up 2 hard drives in RAID, in a mirrored RAID setup, so that we have our OS, our FreeNAS OS, bootable off of 2 hard drives in case one ever fails. And we have 2 240 gig SSDs for that, and those were each around $20–30 off of Amazon, just so that we have a stable OS image, and we ensure that we're writing onto both of those disks so that we have the correct setup in case one ever fails. So we're using 2 motherboard SATA ports for that, leaving us with an extra 3 ports, actually an extra 4. So that was that setup there. And in order to download the FreeNAS OS onto those 2 hard drives, all I did was create a disk image with the FreeNAS ISO file. So you can download that off of their website, which I'll link in the description below. And then I had to download another software in order to actually image a bootable USB. And then we just booted off the USB and imaged onto both the hard drives. So you can select however many hard drives you want to download the image onto, and that's all we did there. And then right now we have 2 6TB Iron Wolf hard drives in the front 5.25 inch bay, and we have another 2 coming. I ordered those from B&H. We have 4 coming, so we can do a RAID Z2 setup or RAID 6 setup, so that we have 2 parity drives and 2 downloadable drives that we can download our files onto. So in the end, we'll have 12 terabytes of storage, and then 2 disks of parity, so we can have any 2 disks fail and we're perfectly fine to recover all of our data. And we are actually enclosing those 2 drives in a new front panel. So this whole bay thing I bought off of Amazon, and it takes up to 5.25 inch drive bays, but you can then install 3 3.5 inch drives, and it also has a front fan. Let's see if I can open this. So here we have our front fan. So that is just a drop down front hinge, and it comes with a built-in dust filter. So it's just like a 90 inch or an 80 inch front fan, but that'll cool those 3 drives. So we'll just pop that back on. So yeah, So we have capacity within this case. So capacity for the case is around, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 drives. Capable, we're using one of the drive bays for the 2 SSDs that we're using for the image. So that leaves us with 10 drives. So I would say by the end of it, we would have one ZFS pool with, 24 terabytes of just 24 terabytes for the ZF or RAID Z2 configuration, and then possibly a second pool with a couple of mirrored drives, just so we can have 2 separate drives or 2 separate pools to download onto and off of. But yeah, it's looking pretty cool. So what we'll do is I'll boot this guy up, show you guys it actually works, and then I'll boot into the IP for the system and show you guys the FreeNAS dashboard and some of the initial configuration that I did, like setting up the static IP so that we're always connecting to the same IP in terms of the local drive that we're then going to be connecting to on Windows. So I'll show you guys some of that setup and how to get started. So we'll set up a pool with the 2 drives that we have, and then at the end of it, just delete that pool. And then once we get the full 4 drives, so that 12 terabytes in RAID Z2, I'll set up another video just to show you the setup of the pool and some of the other setup and just some of the read and write speeds going to the NAS. So we're just gonna get ready and boot this guy up. There we go. And while it's booting, one thing I forgot to mention is, so with our front power connectors, or our front I/O, I connected, your HDD LED, power LED, power button. The one other thing I had to do was then take the proprietary connector from the original setup. So that included the power button, hard drive LED, power button LED, and this thermistor that actually is getting, it's just a temperature probe that's getting your ambient temperature, which is controlling the fan speed. So without that, the rear fan actually goes up to its full RPM, so it gets really loud. So after just taking that adapter off, taking that probe off, and then I just cut the connector in half and put that on the pinout, we have the fans going to the correct RPM, and it's not getting too loud. So now this is your other issue that you're going to run into most likely, is when you're booted into the FreeNAS OS, or actually just booting up the system into BIOS, it's going to show you that your front USB isn't connected, nor is your front 1394 connector. So you just have to hit F1. That'll then just allow the system to boot normally, and then we'll boot off of the OS, the 2 SSDs. So there we go, so we're booted into FreeNAS. So this is just your initial FreeNAS window. I'm gonna hit enter, which will allow us to then just boot into the FreeNAS OS. And once it's all set up, I'll show you guys some of the configuration, and then we'll connect to the IP and show the dashboard. Here we go, we're fully booted into the FreeNAS OS. And now we've gone to the correct IP, and that'll match whatever the IP displayed here. And I've set this up as a static IP, so it's always going to connect to that same IP on my network. I then would just enter the root login and password, and here's the dashboard. So here we have our dashboard. So we're gotten CPU temp readings, so around 35 degrees. Load on the CPU, load on the memory, CPU usage. For whatever reason, this bandwidth inevitably loads and just keeps loading. But just to show a little bit with how we set up the static IP. So if I go to network, interfaces, here I've set up my static IP. So if I go over here, hit edit, you can see in this IPv4 address that is our static IP. So it won't connect with using DHCP, won't connect to the next open IP address. It'll always connect to that same one. And then I also set up that IP address on my router configuration to be static as well. So now if we go into storage, go to pools, and set up our pool with our 2 disks. So we can create a pool, create ADA2, ADA3, send them over to our VDEV. We'll name it data. And we're gonna mirror the disks. So it'll be a mirrored configuration. Click create, confirm, and create pool. So now we're just creating the pool. So now we have our pool created. We're gonna go into here, hit edit permissions. And what I had done is set up my own user. So instead of the user being root, we're gonna change it to my user account, set it for Windows, and that's everything. So now we have that set up. So now what we can do is go into services, or we can go into sharing, Windows SMB shares, and we're gonna add. So we're gonna go connect to our path, which is our data folder, which is our data pool. And that's everything. We're just gonna hit save. And now I've already done this step, but if you open up File Explorer, you go to this PC, go to map network drive. And then this is where you would then type in, you'd name it whatever drive name you want. And then the folder would be the IP address / whatever the pool name or the dataset name is. So now we should be online. We're online now. And all this is running off of a Wi-Fi extender just for testing. So we have our pool created, and all I'm gonna do is just copy over, let's see, we'll copy over a video file. So we'll go to YouTube, copy that folder, and paste it on our NAS. So right now we're sitting at 11 megabytes per second, which isn't bad. And again, this is running off of an extender, Wi-Fi extender. PC is running off Wi-Fi, and the NAS, of course, has to be connected via Ethernet. So based on that, 11 megabytes per second is pretty good. Normally downloading onto a external hard drive, you're probably seeing 20, 30 megabytes per second. So it is slightly slower, but again, there's no hookup. It's all wireless. It's set up on its own. So then if you were to connect, let's say this PC to the Ethernet, and we were connected directly to the router with the FreeNAS, it would probably be a lot faster. So based off of that, I think it's a pretty good setup. I don't think our hardware is limiting it at all. I think the Z400 Workstation components are doing fine. And again, we're using 6 terabyte Iron Wolf drives with 256 megabytes of cache. So they're pretty good NAS drives in and of themselves. So I don't think we're limited there. So yeah, it's pretty interesting video. From my perspective, always wanted to set up a NAS just to be able to download. There's a lot of photos and stuff like that I would like to download on this. So once I get those 2 extra drives, we'll do another video just showing the creation of that RAID 2 configuration with the 4 drives at 12 terabytes. So right now, of course, we're sitting at 6 terabyte capacity with our 2 drives in a mirrored configuration. But yeah, if you want to see some more videos like this, where we're going more into depth in some of, some other kinds of tech when it comes to PCs, like, NAS configuration, FreeNAS setup, definitely leave a comment below, like the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. There's gonna be a lot more content coming soon, so be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.